All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for taking the time to hop in to our webinar here, reviewing this latest release of PrebuiltML and Estima. For just to point out here, the latest version is 4.13.4.3532. So that's going to have the latest and greatest updates. So you can, if you need the link yet to get up to that latest version, just feel free to reach out to us. And so we're just going to review some of the different features and things that are available there. But before we get started into that, just a reminder that there is that chat feature. I'm just going to send a quick hello message there in that chat area. You'll find in your webinar controls that you should see show up on your end. But if you have any questions or things that maybe come up along the way, feel free to chat a message into there. And if we're able to, we can answer those during the webinar here, or if not, we can always follow up with you after as well. So with that, just one other quick note here before we get into the actual new features or changes. And that relates to the feedback button. This was something that we introduced a couple versions back over here in the Hub side. And you can just click on it here in the upper left-hand corner, and you have a direct path to get feedback about how the software is for you, input that you might have, specific requests or things like that. So we're always interested in knowing how things can be better. So please feel free to use that. Give us more information. Love to have your input in that way. So again, that's over here in the Hub side, had that feedback bucket button in the upper left-hand corner. And then as we referenced in the email, there's I'm going to have a preview of a new feature that we're going to be rolling out. It's not in this version. It's going to be in the next version that comes out, but one that there's been, I know, some interest in for a while. So we're going to review that at, a little bit later in the webinar, but just for those of you who are showing up for that, it is coming yet. But just getting over here to the Hub side, we've made some changes related to the ability to post files. So here I'm in my main Hub view. You should be able to see my screen. And so in the information section, of course, but then come over here to the Files tab. We've added in a couple of new things. Now there's a warning message here just reminding you about what you can or can't save or edit when you open them from here. I'm going to dismiss this for now, but just you can be aware of that for future. But we've added in these plan images and miscellaneous files that you can post to your particular Hub project. So just to have show you the flow of this, I'm going to come to the plus button here, upper left-hand corner, and just create a new project. We'll call this our test project for now. And I'll make myself as the salesperson, click create, and actually over in the information tab, I'm going to add myself as an additional contact as well. But over here in the files, you can see I have plain images and miscellaneous files. So if as jobs come in and maybe you get a request from a salesperson for a project and they send you the PDF, but you're not really starting that project yet, but you want to just sort of have everything nicely grouped together. So now what you're able to do is come here to the plus button, and I'm going to come over here to training plan 1. I'm just going to pick out a PDF here that I have, and I'll click the open button. And it's going to take an upload and post that file to that particular Hub project. So now I've got that PDF associated with that particular Hub job. Now, if there's other files, now I will point out that when you go to add in files or plan images, you can always add more, but it's going to be limited to the types of files, the file types that you would be able to actually pull in as page images. So PDFs, TIFFs, PNGs, those types of files. However, you also have this ability to add in miscellaneous files. So maybe you have some additional information about the job that someone sent you, say in a Word document or some other form, and it's not really a plan image of files, it's not page images that you're going to be drawing over, but you still want to attach that information to the job. That's kind of what the intention for this area is, the miscellaneous files. If I click on this, I could say go back to the desktop. Maybe I have this Word doc that had some additional information in, so I can post that there. Of course, you can double click on these and open them from here. You can't edit them from here, but you can certainly open them and view them. So that's kind of feature number 1 here, but then taking that further, we also have allowed you to be able to then pull those plan images into your Hub projects as you start them. So for example, I'm going to come over here to the information section, and I'm going to click on the Start Project. So we're going to get this project started. Now there's two methods that you can use to do that. I can, first of all, is from the Start Project window. Down here, you can see the option is for Add Plan Images from Hub. So I'm going to click on that checkbox, and I'm going to click on the Start Project window. And you can see here what it's going to go do is it's going to go find that PDF file, and it's going to download those plan files. And as it pulls it in, then what it's going to do is it's then going to, once it obtains those, and it's going to convert those into from the PDF into the project file like it typically would, and it's going to finish up here and open. So then when it finishes, what we should have here is come over to the plan section. So here's that Smith home residence that I had those plans for. So those are already attached there. So that's how, so coming back over to the Hub side, that's how, or one method that you would use then to get any of the plan image files that were posted there to be pulled into your Hub project. I happen to have this as a cloud stored job, so my PDB file is here as well to be able to open later. But let's say that you didn't add PDFs here, or perhaps maybe you added some more pages later. You know, you were given more information about the job at a later time. I'm going to come again over to the training plan. Maybe I'll just grab here. There was an additional page that got added in, and so now I wanted to post that again to my Hub project, like it is here. But how do I get then those pages into my actual job since it's already started? So we've also made changes to the Add Pages button. So if I click on Add Pages, if this is a Hub job or have Hub active, then instead of just having the single option to browse like we can do here, I can always just browse to my local machine like normal. But I have an additional option up here. It shows me all of the page images that have currently been posted to that particular project. So I can select the ones or all of them that I want to pull in. So in this case, I just want to get this example roof in here yet, since I don't have that one yet. Click OK, and it pulls that image into there. So those are the methods that you would use to get plan image files into your projects. Again, that would be first either through the Start Project window as you first start the job, or if you already have the project started, then you can access it through the Add Pages button, where you can access the specific files that have been uploaded. Also in this version, we have made a small change or a small update to the feature that we introduced last time. I'm just going to go over here to the account, to the team section. You'll recall that we allowed for you to include output file access links in the project status change emails. So it's maybe a little bit cryptic, but basically what happens is when you are moving things through the process, so for example, if I come back here to our little test job, let's see, there's our test project, and I'm going to click Send to Sales Review. Actually, no, maybe I'll first come over here and let's to make this a little bit more interesting. I forgot I was going to come and we'll put a little bit of output into this actually. Create some output here, and we'll view the report. And we'll just go to Hub, and we'll call this all material. And we'll click OK. So we've posted that to Hub. So now we actually have that in our Hub amount. So here's our material output file. So we've created those reports. But I'm going to come here to back to information. I'm going to send this to sales review. Okay, so now it's been sent out to sales review. And since I'm the sales, my other account is a salesperson, it's going to, I would get an email notifying me of that. And if I was to mark this as complete eventually, then anybody who is in the additional contacts will also get an email. And actually those are going to come to me over in my inbox. I'll pull those over for you to view. So previously when we introduced this, so here's the sales review notification, and we have a link here. So in this latest version of the software that we've put out there, now you also can have it so that when people who have been set as additional contacts on a particular job, the email they get like this, which is notifying them that it's been marked as completed, it also will contain that link. So then just a reminder that what that is if I click on the link here, it's going to take you over to the Hub site, and you don't have to be logged in to get to that specific page, and it will show you then that specific project, and there are the specific files. So if you have some salespeople or some outside contacts that they're really not engaged with Hub directly, they're not using the phone app for whatever reason, they prefer not to do it that way, you can still have the system deliver, in a sense, the files to them so that you're not having to manage that. You can just post them back to Hub like we've done here, and then they get those links and updates, and they can have access to those files. So that's most of what the changes have been over on the Hub side, but then coming back over here more to the core MLX software. One change I will point out here that we've made, it relates to what used to be known as the Lists tab. Just to add some clarity to what specifically is going on there, we renamed that as Material Lists. So everything else about the tab is the same. We just gave it more of a fuller title of Material Lists for clarity. Another change, also a small change for people who are using, I'm going to come over here to the Reports tab. And for those of you who, actually, I think, who are using, when you come over here to the Export button and you use, instead of, and you can't see that in the view, let me pull that up so you can see. So if you're using the XLS export, some of our users are using that maybe for their point of sale software exports or things like that. There was a request to be able to, in some cases, open up an example file and pull this into view here. So in this, an XLS used to look like this, and it contains all these columns, but note here that we had the product name over here, and then the length was broken out as a separate line item when it comes to like lumber type products. For some people, they were needing that length to actually be a part of it, so we gave you an additional option here, column J, where you can get the length included in the product name. So depending on what your needs might be at, you have both flavors, if you want to look at it that way, that you can use to import into your system. And then finally, we made an improvement with performance as far as on the close of projects. If you've already using the software some, you may have noticed already that if you're doing smaller jobs, the close should be pretty much almost instantaneous. And if you're tend to work on large projects, especially maybe large high density housing type projects where there was a lot going on. In the past, those could take a little bit of time for the project to sort of wind down and close all the way when you went to close up for the day. But we made some changes and adjustments there. So you actually now, if you're on those types of larger projects, you should see a nearly instantaneous close now on those. So again, just a little performance improvement that certainly some of you will benefit from. So that's what is in this latest release, but then moving over to that other preview of that item that I had said that we were going to look at. So let me just pull over this other window. And this other feature that's coming soon relates to keyboard drawing, the ability to do that. So I'm going to, just to demonstrate this, I'm going to come to a blank page. I'm going to pull in 11 by 17. And just here's a couple of reminders just of features that are available. You can add blank pages, and maybe I'll repeat that again just for those of you who didn't catch it. If you come up to the Add Pages button and right click on it, you have the option for Add a Blank Page. And with this addition of keyboard drawing coming soon, that it might be more interesting to some of you. You can also come to a blank page and you can choose to add a grid to that page. Again, this is existing stuff, existing features, and you can set, is that spacing 1 foot apart, 6 inches, 5 feet. So it's just got a little piece of graph paper, really. But now what I can do, what will be coming up in the next release, is I can actually draw with the keyboard as far as specifying links. So here I can come down, say I wanted to, maybe somebody didn't have a blueprint and they said, hey, I'm just doing a simple 24 foot by 36 foot house, it's just a box, can you give me a quick estimate on that? So you could come here to a little piece of graph paper, hit the up arrow, say go 24 feet and over 36 feet and down 24 feet, and now you've just drawn in your building and it's all very nicely to size and to scale. And, you didn't have to wonder about if the dimensions were correct. So there's one potential use for it. And again, I know many of you are used to this kind of concept from your different experiences in the past. So looking forward to get this out here. One other way that you might find this useful is, again, if you're, you might find it faster to just click and draw around, or not click and draw around a plan, but some of you might find it easier that you want to be more precise with how you trace an area and just go off the dimensions of the plan. So for example, I can come to a floor system here and I come down here to the bottom and I'll start my floor container right here. And then I could actually just go from here. I can see it's a 30-foot dimension up. So I'll just hit up 30 and over 17.2 and up 2 and over 5 and down 2 and over 4.6. And so you can basically just make your array around the project. And let's see here, maybe I'll cancel that because I don't remember quite what it was over there. So 14.4 is what it should be. So 14.4, and then I'll finish off with that 30. But so, there now I've traced around it. And so now there's not any question in my mind that I'm getting exactly what it is that the architect had drawn in there. So again, those are that's a feature that's coming. We're just kind of finishing up some testing and some final improvements on it. You may have noticed as I was doing that, just one final thing I'll point out is, in addition to being able to use the arrow keys on your keyboard, so I hit the arrow key, you also can control the direction of travel. So if you wanted to move at a 45-degree angle or even a 27-degree angle, up this way or that way, depending on what the plan was, you would also be able to control the direction of travel as well. So we're looking forward to getting that out to you in the next release, and then those other features that are available to you now. So once again, if you have questions about things, how things function, how things could be better for you, we're always excited to hear that back from our customers. So please let us know. Thanks again for joining in with our webinar today, and we'll look forward to talking more next time.